Hey guys, welcome back to Destroyed 48, where I'm going to be I'm going to be reacting to my most viewed video, right? So I have looked at my first opening, the purple starter deck, and my first deck profile, that purple monstrosity. This is as you can see, this is my Mastemon starter deck for BT9. BT9 brought Mekumon, Mekrakmon Vicious Mode, and Mako the trainer or the tamer, as well as or Ophanimon Fall Down mode and Ordinamon, right? So deck was in a pretty good spot. We still had some other things in the meta that were pretty good. D Reaper was still kind of around. X antibody stuff was just being introduced. So deck was in a really good spot here, and I uploaded this, and it got 2.3 thousand views. This was the most hyped I've ever been when it comes to a video, and its reception, right? I've had a couple of videos I've been very, very hyped for releasing, and then the reception kind of died down. But this was incredible. This was like the best week, 2 weeks of my life. I'm exaggerating. Graduating college was also up there, as was, meeting several people who are in my life. But that being said, we're gonna go ahead and watch this. So here we have my Mastemon deck. This is kind of the competitive thing that takes tournaments, and this is updated for BT9 as of what I have right now. At the very end, I'll go. I hope that audio is good. Tech sources I'm thinking about, but let's go ahead and just dive right into this. Starting off with the eggs, we have the 1 Demi-Meramon, and then of course we have the 4 Nyaramon. Pretty self-explanatory. If you're looking at this deck, you can run any combination of these, but these are the eggs I would suggest for it. So, right off the bat, I would cut the Demi-Meramon. I don't know why I was playing that. But, who am I to judge? I literally made this. Now onto the main deck. We have 3 Mako Mochizuki and 3 Kari Kamiya. Kari, I've shown her off before in the profile. She's a memory tamer, and then also, if you get anything recovered to your security stack, you can suspend her to gain 1. I don't know why I was showing off how suspending works. If you're watching the video, you know how suspend. Okay. Is new for BT9. I don't know if I'm keeping that in the video or if I'm skipping over it. I don't have ad revenue on YouTube. I don't have any mechanism to make money through YouTube, right? So if I didn't play it and there was just a weird skip there, that's because YouTube has put an ad on my video, and I don't know why or anything. So sorry if there's a weird skip there. If there's not, and you just watched that Brooklyn Nine-Nine Peacock ad with me, I don't know what that's about, and I need to figure out if I can make ad revenue off YouTube. It could just be that this video has enough views to get ads. Not entirely sure, but if there's a cut there, sorry, I genuinely don't know what's going on. If there wasn't a cut there, I guess Peacock is a thing. Play her. You can reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a purple or yellow Digimon card among them to your hand, and trash the rest. And then any turn, both yours or your opponent's all turns, when you play a 2-color purple and yellow Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. There's a couple different things that will come up with this, and it's why I have shown. I really do hope this audio is great. Actually gonna turn myself up just a tad. Okay. All right, here we go. From just 3 tamers in the deck to 6. But when we get into the other things, you'll kind of see how this plays out and how, or at the very least, why it's pretty good for Mastemon. For the options, if you remember the last deck profile, we have severely cut back. We are just looking at 3 Flame House Scythe. The last couple locals I went to, Chaos Degradation was just a bane. It was never really helpful. Sometimes it just gave my opponent advantage in their security stack. And then other times, Reinforcement Memory Boost was just not what I needed at the time. And Flame House Scythe is the only option card that consistently I love to see, either if it's in my security stack or in my hand. This card is So, I vaguely remember times when Chaos Degradation was just not it. Most of the time, I don't know if I would cover it in here, I would put my opponent at 5 memory, right? Because I have the memory tamer, or I'd just be at 3 somehow. I'd play Chaos, put them at 5, and that 5 memory would just vault my opponent into a winning situation. And I could not disagree more about Chaos Degradation. That card is insane, both for security control and for Mastemon. So when I redo this, especially for EX6 with the new Mastemon support, it is going to be a violently different list from what I'm showing off here, which is obvious because this is BT9, I'm talking about EX6, but it's so weird to me that this video did so well, and it's a Mastemon list not playing Chaos Degrade.
Saving me, and I may be bumping it up to 4 at some point, but as of right now, these are the only option cards I'm playing. So for the rookies, we have here, 2 Candlemon, BT8, 1 Salmon from the Mastemon starter deck, and then here is our first monster or Digimon from BT9, 4 Salmon X Antibody. This can Digivolve onto any Salmon for a cost of 0, and then when it's in play and you Digivolve, you can look at the top part of your security stack, add it to your hand, and if you do, recovery +1. So just a way to kind of exchange a card in your security stack. Potentially, if it's good, if it's not, you can just kind of leave it, but pretty good card here. And then speaking of from BT9, we have 3 Salmon from BT9 on play. You reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 2-color purple card among them to your hand. Place the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. So any 2-color card that has purple in it, on play you can search and add it, and then everything goes to the bottom of your deck. And then we have kind of the old stuff. 1 Gazimon and 2.
There's space on the right side, buddy. You could put the Gazimon and Psychmon there, but
just to kind of control and kind of stop your opponent from doing too many crazy shenanigans there. So going into the champions, we of course have the 4 Gatomon from the structure deck. These are absolutely glorious. I don't ever really intend on cutting them. Then we have from BT9 4 Meikumon. Its security effect is at the end of the battle you get to play it. And then its inherent effect on deletion, if this Digimon has 2 or more colors, gain 2 memory. Almost every single level 6 and 7 we're running now, with spoilers, has 2 colors. So that inherent effect, when you get to your level 6s, comes up, and that 2 memory is going to be nice. But also, that security effect, if it's in your security, and you play it on your opponent's turn, your Tamer can suspend to gain 1 memory. And sometimes that can mess up your opponent, sometimes it can outright end their turn. But this is just one of the new ways that we can kind of disrupt our opponent a bit on their turn, this plus the Tamer. So the level 5 lineup is still pretty basic.
I still don't think I'm ever going to cut that Gatomon. The new Gatomon is on play when Digivolving, and then a very similar search effect. And then the inherited, I believe, is something different. I don't have it memorized just yet. I think in EX6 I might cut that Gato down to 3. It's really going to depend on how testing goes. The Meikumon, dope. Meikumon was great. No longer necessary. But I stand by in that format running 4 Meikumon, 4 Gatomon. There were a couple games where it was a choke point, not getting to level 4s. But during those games, I would end up hard playing a level 5, and then just fingers crossed, and it would kind of work out. So, weird choice here, did work.
2 Magna Angemon, 2...
Why am I getting ads? Why are there ads on my YouTube videos? There shouldn't be. There should be ads on my Twitch. Twitch.tv/Desperog48.
The main difference is that when you Digivolve here, you can just start going to search. I mean, this called on, that's the searcher. This one, you just, on Digivolve, you get to draw 2 and trash 2 from your hand. Then, of course, we're still on the 2 losing on Chaos mode.
That is such a dumb decision. I should be playing more of the starter deck, less of the BT2. And the reason why that is because the starter deck works with Flame Hell Scythe. The BT2, I think this BT2 doesn't. So this is just a really weird decision. I'm not one of the people who's like, if you could go back in time and change something. I just think that's a dumb question overall, but that's a whole philosophical conversation for later. If I could go back in time and change something, I would flip those ratios. And it pains me to look at this knowing that this looks dumb, but this worked out, And as I sit here, I'm like, you should be playing more Angelomon, more Lady Devimon. No, this worked perfectly fine somehow. But bad Lady Devimon ratios, not great.
Still debating on this, not totally sure about it. Most of the time it ends up giving my opponent way too much memory. But even then, you can still, it's good removal, so I'm still a little hesitant on that. But one I'm definitely looking at is this Maycrackmon Vicious Mode. So on play or when digivolving, you can trash one card in your hand. If you trash a purple card, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon. If you trash a yellow card, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. So if you outright play it with something like Flame Hell Scythe or from hand, and you have that one tamer, you can spend to gain the memory, and then you get that funky little effect. It's pretty good. I definitely want to run a couple more of it, but I need to pick up a couple more, as this is the only copy I have right now.
I know it was the only copy I had. I'd still stand by the one of there. I don't think, again, going back to if I could go back and flip-flop the Lady Devies, I wouldn't change that. I'd keep the one. The Loosemon Chaos modes were nice because Mastemon could place it in security and then play it out because it was level 5. That was a great choice. If I'm playing Loosemon Chaos mode in this deck, I play 2 or none. Same goes with the Magna Angemon. So maybe in the moment, back in BT9, looking at this list, I was a little hesitant on the Chaos modes. Looking back now, I think that's a good call. Obviously, it's about to change.
So quite unlike the last deck I profiled, we have a lot of level 6s here. Starting off with the newest level 6, 2 Regulmon. So if you don't know...
I don't know why I pronounce it like that. I believe it's Reguelmon. And if it's pronounced something else, feel free to spell that out, like phonetically, how it's sounded out. Feel free to spell that in the comments. Love to see that.
What this does, I'll go ahead and center that while I read the other one. On play one purple or yellow Digimon card.
I have an alt art of this now. I didn't have that when I profiled this, but cool, whatever. Shut up, Oak.
So if you play that with the Tamer, it essentially becomes a play cost 11, so 12. But that's kind of, whoop-de-doo. The other thing, the big effect here, is end of your turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand for its DNA Digivolve cost. So, even if you hard play this, if you have one security and you hard play this, recover a level 6 Angel or Fallen Angel, DNA Digivolve into level 7 of the deck, and when we get there, you will see exactly why that is dangerous. Our other level 6s are pretty standard. 2 Ophanimon Fall Down Mode. Yikes, that's a little off camera. Whoops. 2 Ophanimon Fall Down Mode, and then we've got 4 Mastemon. I've updated the art. Ophanimon Fall Down Mode is a Fallen Angel, which works with Regulmon. Mastemon is an Angel, which also works with Regulmon. So if you have any number of these in trash, you can play Regulmon for 12.
I mean,
or any number that you can spend to
if you have the Kari and Mako, you still play Reguelmon.
This card is insane. DNA Digivolution 0 from purple level 6.
I need to brag about my locals, right? I was doing locals in the city where I went to college, and I've talked about this locals a lot. I've talked about it a few times in videos, maybe once or twice on stream. I talk about it a lot outside of creating content. That was genuinely the healthiest group of locals I've ever been to for Digimon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Those people were incredible. They were talented. They were amazing. They were funny. They were good at the game. They were insightful. Nicest, kindest people ever. One of the guys, like, we would sit and we would chat DDD. We were both pissed off that he lost to Yuya, by the way. Declan had that game in the bag. This is like the very last game when you got all 3 Super Doom Kings on the field. Declan should not have won that. Absolute bullshit. Fuck you, Sakake. Anyways, these guys, the entire locals are so incredible. They're just awesome. And on my last locals, my friend walks up to me and he hands me an alt art or Dinamon, and I was like, how much is this? He's like, no, this is like a going away gift. Keep it. And I still have that. And I will run at the bare minimum that or Dinamon in every Mastemon list ever, because that was the one thing I wanted from BT9. All I wanted was an alt art or Dinamon. And this guy, my friend from this amazing locals, just goes, here, you're about to leave. This is a going away gift. Take it. So I really can't stress enough how amazing that locals was. And every time I look at that alt art or Dinamon, I'm reminded of how lucky I was to get to play with that group of people. But I profiled this deck before I got the alt art, and seeing the two same arts, I'm like, that doesn't look right. Because I haven't seen the two same art or Dinamons since then, so.
And yellow level 6.
I don't know why I paused the video to do that. Cover all coulda. Oh well.
And all of their level 5 or lower Digimon. For each Digimon,
The fuck was... Why am I getting ads on YouTube? I shouldn't be. I should only be getting ads on Twitch, right? Only. That's it. Speaking of, again, twitch.tv/Desperogue48. Follow me. Subscribe if you feel like it. I need to get back into streaming Twitch.
Play your Human for 12. Put your opponent at 10 members on play.
Oh my god, dude.
Bring this out. Immediately DNA into this. This will clear your opponent's entire field. Remember, 1 level 6 or higher, and all level 5 or lower. And then for every card deleted by that effect...
Could you imagine that effect against Bloom Lord? Like Bloom Lord that swarms the field and just plays a bunch of shit.
I got to 9 security cards after going into Ordinamon and bringing it back to my turn. This card is insane.
Not only is that true, the guy I did that against was the guy who gave me the alt art Ordinamon. Okay? Same exact dude.
This card's still pretty good.
Yeah.
There were a lot of times testing out when I felt like I saw it too often or not enough. Just a little wishy-washy, which of course we flipped with another level 7, but the other one I want to see in hand. So I don't know, I'm still kind of debating on these. I do have a third Regulamon. Just again, I need to test that a little bit.
Oh, these are side deck op. No, these are...
So multiple playsets of this Angelomon and the Lady Devilmon. And then this was actually a really interesting tech option. This Angelomon counts as a yellow.
No.
So,
oh my god. Oh my god, I did testing, and I tried to make that Angemon work. That was such a dumb decision, right? Because that can only go on one of the yellows that I have, right? Which is like the starter deck Salmon, the Candlemon, Salmon X Antibody. Pretty good list of yellow rookies there. But I was never at 3 memory or less when I get it. That's a tech option, right? It's a yellow. I can play it with Flame Hell Scythe. I can put it in security with Master. Like, I get it. But that was the stupidest, most asinine. And there are times where I've gone back and I've been like, you know, maybe that was a sign that I shouldn't be cooking. Nah, I cook great Digimon decks. That Angemon tech option was just awful. Dog shit.
This is a little weird for me. I took it out for a reason, but you know.
Yeah, you're keeping it out, buddy.
I still have 2 Lucimon, which if I ran these, I'd be able to justify the Lucimon Chaos mode a little more. And then I also have 1 more Meiko Mochizuki, so I have some options, and I'm going to be doing a lot of testing in the next coming days. So join the Discord if you want to help me test that out. Link is in the description. But yeah, I mentioned at the top of the video that I had some other tech options and things to do with the deck and ways to test it out, so I did want to go ahead and showcase all of those. That wasn't clean at all, but just in case anyone was curious about those. So with all that being said, this is my competitive Mastemon, technically / Ordinamon deck since that's a boss monster, but thank you guys very much for watching. Let me know what you think, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you all next time.
What sleeves was I using? Okay, well, this is a perfect encapsulation of what I watch on YouTube. So I still love Mastemon. I have Mastemon, Beelzemon, and now Machine Dramon are always literally right here to my left. Love this deck. I'm so hyped for EX6. There's the stuff I'd change, but I think this was a perfect deck list, or a perfect deck, because it showed me I guess a deeper level of thinking when it comes to Digimon decks, right? Because you saw the tech options at the end, right? Zord Defeat was there because as security, it can play itself, which will trigger Mastemon's effect to delete something of equal level or lower. Zord defeats a level 7, so you get that in security, pop a level 7 or lower, right? So the blue-yellow Angemon, right, looks like a great tech on paper. In practice, it was terrible. The difference between Lucemon, or like 2 Lucemon Chaos modes versus 2 Lucemon and 2 Chaos modes, the tamer ratios, crafting this deck, getting the 2 structure decks, opening BT8, opening BT9, playing around with the ratios. This really showed me how to think on a deeper level about Digimon decks, and kind of like evolved my thinking on how to build decks. I'm not the best at it. There are definitely times where I think I cook and I burnt the fucking kitchen down. Mostly nowadays, when I dip my toes back in Yu-Gi-Oh, play one game against a bot on EDO and then skedaddle, just to kind of like, still slowly weaning myself out of Yu-Gi-Oh. But this deck did so much for me when it comes to playing competitively, thinking competitively, and making content. Because again, seeing this get 2.3 thousand views as someone who at the time had like 1 to 200 subscribers, like that was huge for me. God, I really do ramble too much. Fuck, dude. I'm sorry if there are weird cuts. If there's not, I'm going to try to figure out why there's ads on my video. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Join the Discord. Leave a like. All that fun stuff. And I'll see y'all next time.